The low rumble of engines filled the air as Lieutenant Colonel Murray Ironhide Tanner stood atop his command tank, surveying the barren landscape of Trinia Prime. The alien world's purple sky cast an eerie glow on the sea of armored vehicles stretching out behind him. 20 behemoth-class tanks, Earth's finest war machines, stood ready to unleash hell upon the last bastion of the once mighty Tranadin Empire. Murray's scarred face twisted into a grim smile as he checked his chronometer. T-10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, he announced over the squadron's comm channel. Time to remind these Xeno bastards why they should have never messed with humanity. As his crew made their final preparations, Murray's mind drifted back to the day that had set this all in motion. 5 years ago, the Tranadins had attacked the human colony of New Eden, believing the fledgling world to be an easy target. They couldn't have been more wrong. The response from Earth had been swift and merciless. Humanity, long accustomed to being the underdogs of the galaxy, had been spoiling for a fight. The Tranadin Empire, spanning multiple galaxies, had seemed like the perfect challenge. Now, half a decade later, that mighty empire had been reduced to a single world. Murray's reverie was interrupted by the crackle of his personal comm. "Colonel, sir," came the gruff voice of his gunner, Sergeant Sarah Deadeye Chen. "All weapons systems are green. We're loaded for bear, and then some." "Outstanding," Deadeye Murray replied, his voice a low growl. "What's our payload looking like?" "We've got enough firepower to glass a small continent," Sir Chen reported, a note of pride in her voice. "Antimatter shells, plasma charges, and a few nasty surprises RD cooked up just for this shindig." Murray nodded, satisfaction evident in his steel-gray eyes. Perfect. The eggheads back home always did know how to throw a party. He switched to the squadron-wide channel once more. "Listen up, Hellraisers. In case any of you forgot why we're here, let me remind you. These Tranadin cockroaches thought they could step on us, treat us like we're just another species to be conquered. They didn't realize that humans don't roll over. We don't surrender. And we sure as hell don't forget." A chorus of agreement echoed through the comm. "The brass wants us to make an example out of this rock," Murray continued, his voice hard as the armor plating beneath his feet. "They want every race in the galaxy to think twice before they even look at a human world funny. So we're going to oblige them. We're going to hit that fortress so hard, the very concept of fortification will give up and go home." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But remember this, we're not just fighting for vengeance. We're fighting for every human out there in the black. Every colony, every outpost, every lone explorer charting the stars. We're fighting to make the galaxy understand one simple truth: you don't mess with humanity." The cheers that erupted from his crew and the surrounding tanks brought a wolfish grin to Murray's face. This was what he lived for, the thrill before the storm, the electric anticipation of impending violence. As the chronometer ticked down to 0, Murray dropped into the tank's command chair. The hatch sealed above him with a pneumatic hiss, and he found himself surrounded by screens and holographic displays, each one feeding him real-time data on the battlefield ahead. "All right, Hellraisers," he growled, his fingers dancing over the controls. "Let's go introduce the Tranadins to the business end of human ingenuity. Forward march." With a roar that shook the alien soil, 20 behemoth tanks lurched into motion. At their head, Murray's command vehicle led the charge towards the looming Tranadin fortifications. As they picked up speed, Murray felt the familiar rush of adrenaline coursing through his veins. This wasn't just a battle. This wasn't just a war. This was humanity's statement to the galaxy, written in fire and steel. And Murray, he was the author, his tank the pen, and the Tranadin world his parchment. Let the lesson begin. The rumble of the behemoth tanks quickly grew to a thunderous roar as they charged across the alien landscape. Lieutenant Colonel Murray Ironhide Tanner's eyes darted between the holographic displays, taking in every detail of the battlefield ahead. "Tranadin defense line coming up," so reported his sensor operator, Corporal Jean Oracle Lai, picking up energy signatures consistent with plasma artillery and kinetic barriers. Murray's lips curled into a predatory grin. "Looks like they've rolled out the welcome mat for us. Deadeye, you seeing what I'm seeing?" "Aye, Sir." Sergeant Sarah Chen's voice crackled through the comm. got a bead on their primary artillery emplacements. Just say the word. All units, this is Ironhide Murray broadcast to the squadron. Prep antimatter shells. We're going to knock politely. A chorus of affirmatives echoed through the channel as the gunners of all 20 tanks loaded their most devastating ordnance. The first salvo from the Tranidin defenses lit up the purple sky, a dazzling display of alien weaponry that would have been beautiful if it wasn't so deadly. Plasma bolts and hypervelocity slugs screamed towards the advancing human forces. Evasive maneuvers, Murray barked. Scatter formation, keep them guessing. The behemoths moved with a grace that belied their massive size, weaving and dodging. A few shots found their mark, splashing harmlessly against reinforced shields. "Ha," Murray exclaimed. "Seems the Tranidins still haven't figured out how to crack our armor. Let's show them how it's done. All units fire at will." 20 antimatter shells erupted from the behemoth's main guns, streaking across the battlefield in fiery arcs. They struck the Tranidine line with earth-shattering force, each detonation unleashing the destructive power of a small sun. The alien defenses crumbled under the assault. Fortifications were vaporized, artillery pieces twisted into unrecognizable shapes, and unfortunate Tranidine soldiers simply ceased to exist. Now that's what I call knocking Murray whooped. Push forward. Don't let up. The tanks surged ahead, their treads crushing the rubble of what had once been the frontline defenses. Murray's eyes gleamed as he watched the Tranidin forces scrambling to regroup. Sir Oracle's voice cut through the din of battle, detecting a large concentration of enemy armor moving to intercept. "Looks like they're throwing everything they've got at us." Murray nodded, his expression turning serious. "All right, people, this is where it gets interesting. Deadeye, switch to plasma charges. Oracle, start jamming their comms. Driver, full speed ahead." The battlefield devolved into chaos as the human tanks clashed with wave after wave of Tranidin war machines. The alien vehicles were impressive in their own right, sleek, organic-looking constructs that seemed to flow across the ground rather than roll. But against the raw power and advanced technology of the behemoths, they stood little chance. Murray's tank led the charge, its main gun belching superheated plasma that melted through Tranidin armor like butter. Around him, the other 19 behemoths formed an unstoppable phalanx, pushing deeper and deeper into enemy territory. "Ironhide to all units," Murray called out, his voice steady despite the frenetic pace of combat. "Remember your training. These Xenos might have numbers, but we've got the spirit of humanity behind us. Each of you is worth 100 of them." As if to punctuate his words, Murray's gunner landed a perfect shot on what appeared to be a Tranidine command vehicle. The alien construct erupted in a spectacular explosion, sending ripples of confusion through the enemy ranks. Hours seemed to pass in the blink of an eye. The human forces carved a swath of destruction through the Tranidin defenses, their relentless advance leaving nothing but scorched earth and shattered alien war machines in their wake. Finally, as the strange sun of Trinidia Prime began to set, Murray's sensors indicated they were approaching their primary objective, the central command hub of the regional Tranidin forces. "All right, Hellraisers," Murray announced, allowing a note of satisfaction to creep into his voice. "Looks like we've got them on the ropes. The main command center is just ahead. One final push, and we'll have their leaders cornered like rats in a trap." He paused, surveying the battered but unbroken line of human tanks. They had lost 2 behemoths in the fighting, but the crews had been safely extracted, a small price to pay for the devastation they had wrought. "Let's finish this," Murray growled, his hands tightening on the controls. "For Earth, for New Eden, and for every human who's ever looked up at the stars and dreamed. Show these Xenos why humanity rules the battlefield." With a resounding cheer, the tanks surged forward once more, their engines roaring a battle cry that echoed across the alien world. The final assault on the Tranidine command center had begun, and Murray could almost taste the victory that awaited them. The Tranidine command center loomed before them, a twisted spire of alien architecture that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent force field, the last line of defense for the alien leadership. Lieutenant Colonel Murray Ironhide Tanner's eyes narrowed as he assessed the situation. "Oracle, what are we looking at?" Corporal Zen Oracle Lai's fingers danced across her console. "Sir, the shield's putting out more power than anything we've seen so far. It's going to take everything we've got to crack it." Murray nodded, a wolfish grin spreading across his face. "Then that's exactly what we'll give it. All units, form up. Concentrate fire on my mark." The remaining 18 behemoths moved into position, their main guns trained on a single point of the shimmering barrier. Murray felt a surge of pride as he watched his team execute the maneuver flawlessly. Fire. A devastating barrage of energy weapons and high-yield explosives slammed into the shield. The air itself seemed to warp and twist under the assault. For a moment it looked as if even this concentrated attack might not be enough. Then, with a sound like shattering glass amplified 1,000-fold, the barrier collapsed. Wherein Murray roared, "Advance!" The tanks surged forward, smashing through the remnants of the Tranidin's outer defenses. Alien soldiers scattered before them, their weapons little more than toys against the behemoth's armored hulls. As they approached the base of the spire, Murray made a decision. "Deadeye Oracle, you're with me. We're going in on foot. The rest of you, keep them busy out here." Grabbing his personal arsenal and a compact translator bot, Murray popped the hatch and leapt from his tank. Sergeants Chen and Lai were right behind him, their weapons at the ready. The interior of the Tranidin Command Center was a maze of twisting corridors and pulsating organic technology. Murray led his team deeper, guided by Oracle's sensor readings and the sounds of panicked alien chatter. Finally, they reached a massive door that could only be the entrance to the main command room. Murray nodded to Deadeye, who placed a breaching charge on the alien alloy. The explosion rocked the entire level. As the smoke cleared, Murray and his team stormed in, weapons raised. The Tranidin commander stood at the center of the room, surrounded by cowering subordinates. The alien was taller than a human, with a segmented exoskeleton and multiple compound eyes that swiveled to focus on the intruders. Murray stepped forward, activating the translator bot. "In the name of the United Earth Government, you are hereby ordered to surrender. Your empire is finished." The Tranidin's mandibles clicked rapidly, its words rendered into English by the bot impossible. "Our defenses were impenetrable. What manner of demons are you?" Murray's laugh was cold and hard. "We're not demons, Bug. We're humans. And you made the mistake of pissing us off." The alien commander's eyes darted between Murray and the sounds of continued battle outside. What kind of weapons have you unleashed upon us? What terrors have you brought to our world?" "Just good old-fashioned human ingenuity," Murray replied, his voice dripping with mock sweetness. "But since you ask, the terror currently redecorating your front lawn is what we call a tank." The translator struggled for a moment before spitting out the alien's confused response. "Tank? This word it does not translate. What is this tank that could defeat our mightiest warriors?" Murray's eyebrows rose in genuine surprise. "You mean to tell me you built an empire spanning galaxies, and you never invented the tank? No wonder you folded like wet cardboard." The Tranidin commander's confusion quickly gave way to fear as it realized the full implications of Murray's words. If such simple weapons could defeat us so easily, what hope do we have? What will become of our people? Murray's expression hardened. "That depends on you, Bug. Surrender now, unconditionally, and maybe, just maybe, humanity will show more mercy than you showed New Eden." The alien's mandibles worked silently for a moment before it slumped in defeat. We surrender. May the cosmos have mercy on us all." As Deadeye moved to secure the Tranidin commander, Murray keyed his comm. "This is Ironhide to all units. Mission accomplished. The command center is secure. Repeat, we have victory." A chorus of cheers erupted over the channel, the sound of human triumph echoing across an alien world. Murray allowed himself a small smile as he gazed out a viewport at the war-torn landscape. The battle was over, but he knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had proven itself a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same. He activated his comm once more. "Command, this is Lieutenant Colonel Tanner. The Tranidin leadership has surrendered, requesting new orders." As he waited for a response, Murray couldn't help but wonder what new challenges awaited humanity among the stars. Whatever they were, he knew one thing for certain: they would face them head-on, with all the tenacity, ingenuity, and sheer stubbornness that had brought them this far. The galaxy had better watch out. Humanity was here to stay. The alien sun crept over the horizon, casting an eerie light on the smoking ruins of what had once been the pride of the Tranidine Empire. Lieutenant Colonel Murray Ironhide Tanner stood atop his battered behemoth tank, surveying the aftermath of their decisive victory. His comm crackled to life. "Colonel Tanner, this is High Command. Report status." Murray allowed himself a small smirk before responding. "High Command, this is Tanner. Mission accomplished. The Tranidine Central Command has been captured, and their leaders have surrendered unconditionally, awaiting further orders." There was a pause before the reply came. "Outstanding work, Colonel. Your team's performance has exceeded all expectations. Stand by for your next assignment." As Murray waited, he reflected on the battle and its implications. The Tranidines, a species that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries, had been brought to their knees by a handful of human tanks and the indomitable spirit of their crews. Sergeant Sarah Deadeye Chen approached, her usually stoic face betraying a hint of excitement. "Sir, words coming in from all over the planet. Tranidine forces are laying down arms everywhere. It's over." Murray nodded, his expression grim. "It's over for the Tranidines, Sergeant. For us, this is just the beginning." His comm buzzed again. "Colonel Tanner, your new orders are as follows. You are to oversee the establishment of a temporary human garrison on Trinia Prime. Additionally, you'll be heading up a task force to reverse engineer and integrate Tranidine technology into our own systems." Murray's eyebrows shot up. This was more responsibility than he'd anticipated. "Understood, High Command. We'll get it done." As he began organizing his troops for their new mission, Corporal Jean Oracle Lai approached with a datapad. "Sir, you might want to see this. We're picking up transmissions from all over the sector. Word of our victory is spreading fast." Murray took the pad, his eyes widening as he scrolled through the information. Reports were flooding in from every corner of known space. Other alien species, once cowed by the Tranidine threat, were reaching out to humanity with messages of congratulations, offers of alliance, and in some cases, outright pledges of fealty. "Well, I'll be damned," Murray muttered. "Looks like we've made quite an impression." Over the next few days, as human reinforcements arrived to secure the planet, the full impact of their victory became clear. Humanity, once seen as upstart newcomers in the galactic community, had catapulted themselves to the forefront of interstellar politics. A week after the battle, Murray found himself in a hastily constructed command center, facing a holographic projection of the United Earth government's leadership. "Colonel Tanner," the president began, her voice filled with pride, "your actions, and those of your brave soldiers, have ushered in a new era for humanity. The galaxy now looks to us for leadership. It's a responsibility we must bear with wisdom and strength." Murray stood at attention, his voice steady. "Madam President, whatever humanity needs, the Hellraisers stand ready." The president nodded. "We're glad to hear it, Colonel, because we have a feeling the galaxy is about to become a much more interesting place. Humanity is no longer fighting for survival or recognition. Now we're fighting for our rightful place among the stars." As the transmission ended, Murray turned to look out the window at the alien landscape. In the distance, he could see teams of human scientists and engineers already at work, unraveling the secrets of Tranidine technology. Human diplomats were arriving by the hour, preparing to reshape the galactic political landscape. Sergeant Chen appeared at his side. "Orders, sir." Murray's face split into a wolfish grin. "Orders, Deadeye? We've got a galaxy to conquer. Not with tanks and guns this time, but with human ingenuity, determination, and a little bit of that terror we seem to inspire." He turned to face his loyal crew, his voice rising with conviction. The Tranidines thought they were the apex predators of the cosmos. They were wrong. Humanity is here, and we're not going anywhere. The galaxy tried to make us kneel. Instead, we'll make it ours. As his words rang out, Murray could feel the energy in the room, the sense of limitless possibility. Humanity had faced its trial by fire and emerged victorious. The stars themselves seemed within reach. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. And Murray Ironhide Tanner, the man who had led the charge that toppled an empire, couldn't wait to see what challenges awaited them next. After all, in a galaxy full of aliens who had never even conceived of a tank, who knew what other surprises humanity had in store, the future was theirs for the taking, and take it they would. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please be sure to subscribe and leave it a like. It helps the channel a ton. I'll see you in the next one.